Well, I think I just want to define what we're talking about as extraterrestrial life. If they find microbes on Mars, it could well be because we've transplanted it there. If you saw I use the expression, a dolphin swimming in a sea on Europa, would that violate Scripture? I don't believe so. I don't think we'll see it. I don't believe it's consistent with the Bible, and I personally don't think it's happened. But if we're talking about, not only sentient, which means self-aware, but intelligent life, that is, with the capacity to make moral decisions, to build spacecraft to come here, absolutely no. And I think as Christians, to be honest, I hear a lot about what God could have done, might have done. I think there's always a real danger in using that argument, because at the end of the day, we should only glean what we should glean from Scripture, and that's about what God said he did. And I agree with Russ that the Scriptures are very, very much silent. And if we were to have the absolutely earth-shattering news, and I think it was NASA that conducted a survey, what impact would it have upon human civilization if a real extraterrestrial visited the Earth? It really would be earth-shattering. It really redefines our place in the universe. And if that was likely to happen, I do not believe that God would have left us void about that type of information in his word, which we believe as Christians contains everything that we should know about this life and the next life, or to come, or tells us how to get there anyway. So the big problem I have with is that the idea that there could be intelligent, sentient life, so similar to us, make those types of decisions, is I actually believe it violates the gospel, the very gospel of Christ. Because God is just. Morality, our concept of morality, for example, comes from the Scripture. Evolution cannot give you a moral code, for example, dog eat dog. So the whole concept of morality is a Christian virtue that comes from the Bible. Love thy neighbour as thyself. So if God had created sentient, intelligent life on other planets, as I mentioned yesterday, they're not capable of being saved because they're not descendants of Adam. Jesus is called the last Adam because there was a real physical, historical first Adam. Hebrews 2:17 tells you, for example, it's not angels he helps, but Abraham's descendants. You have to be a human being to be saved. So if, there's a Klingon sitting out there on another planet who's been affected by Adam's curse, and he has, because the curse was universal. And I know the curse was universal, and I'm sorry I'm making dogmatic statements, but I believe I can, because the Bible tells us there's going to be a new heavens and a new earth. This one is going to cease to exist. Why? Romans 8 tells you this whole creation groans and travails under the weight of sin. When you hear a word like the whole creation or the heavens and the earth, it's a merism, as I said yesterday. It means everything that exists in time and space. In reference to there being other sheep, there's even an ET believing astronomer at the Vatican by the name of Guy Consolmagno. And even though he wants there to be ETs out there, he clearly says that as referring to Gentiles. That, because Jesus at the time was causing division amongst the Jews. The other thing, there's another passage in Hebrews, of course, where it says, we know by God's command the worlds were formed. Often people say, well, does that mean he made other worlds? But you'll only see, I think, that word worlds in the King James translation. And the Greek word is aeon, A-I-O-N, which is where we get our word eons from. And in effect, what it really means is that God made the universe, or everything that exists in time and space. There's good scientific evidence to suggest that there's only life here on Earth. Everywhere we look, we're discovering extrasolar planets. And by and large, all of those planets are either too large, they're too close to their suns, gravity would not be right, or you're going to get fried, or something like that. So, as I say, I think the issue is that type of life that I'm talking about, like us or capable of those decisions, for them to be wiped out when God creates a new heavens and a new earth is a problem, because that would make God, I believe, morally unjust. And I don't believe he is.
Reading, I have short answers.